Have I told you lately that I love you? Have I told you? I don't know the rest of the words to this song. Hello there, friendly neighbors, and welcome back to our channel. Nova is here with me today. She just woke up. She's got the shivers. You've got the shivers. How will we ever cure you? Today I wanted to take a little venture talking about a little something that I have been dying to try, and I thought, well, I guess I can just make a YouTube video about it because then I can share my experiences with the rest of the world. What is this thing that I'm talking about though? That is of course the title of this video. You probably already actually know what it is. Why do I always say that? I'm always like, what am I talking about today? And then you guys have seen the title of the video, so they know. Nova, did you die? She's just hanging out. Today I'm talking about clicker training. Clicker training, at least in my experience, is something that gets talked about a lot in the ferret community, especially when it comes to behavioral issues, litter box training, or just plain training your ferret to do tricks. So what is the hullabaloo, as it were, Nova, about clicker training? Today we're going to be talking about that a little bit. So first off, for anyone who doesn't know, what is clicker training? Clicker training is a method of positive reinforcement training that is generally used for dogs but can be applied to other animals like ferrets, cats, and goats. I think that's what something, I was Googling it and somewhere said goats, so I guess you can clicker train your goats. Most commonly with clicker training, people will use a clicker, hence the name, but you can also apply the same clicker training logic to a bunch of other things, maybe a whistle or a hand gesture or a specific word that you use. The possibilities are as endless as your imagination will allow them to be. Before we get too far into this video, I do really want to acknowledge a very, very important YouTube channel, Joey the Trained Ferret. If any of you guys haven't heard of this channel, I really recommend looking it up. Joey was a very good, smart boy, and his owners spent hours and hours training him super awesome clicker tricks. I learned quite a lot from that channel, which then prompted me to go on and do my own research, so I felt like it would be a terrible thing for me to not mention the channel that sparked my interest in this. So links down to that channel are below. Please do go check it out. Let's delve a little bit into a history lesson so we can understand where this training method came from. Clicker training was first invented by B.F. Skinner in World War II with the help of his assistants Marion Cruz and Keller Braylett. Their theory behind clicker training was that the traditional methods of positive reinforcement, such as treats or praise, weren't given quickly enough, so the animal often forgot why it was being rewarded in the first place. Clicker training, on the other hand, completely eliminates this problem because it's based on the idea of rewarding the instant that the animal does the behavior that you're trying to train them to do. The first animals to be clicker trained by this team of training geniuses was actually a group of pigeons. They trained them to push balls with their beaks, which they called bowling. So that's proof that this works in other animals, not necessarily just dogs. So history lesson over. Hopefully you guys are nice and asleep by now. Now let's move on to how do you clicker train your pets. The simplest way is to just make sure that you have very clearly established to your animal that clicker means good job. So the way you're going to do this is by taking short 5 to 10 minute intervals every day to click and then instantly give your pet a treat. It's important to make sure that you're only doing short windows, especially when you're training an animal like a ferret, because I don't know if you know this, but ferrets have extremely short attention spans, so you want to make sure that you're still making this a fun and exciting thing for you and your ferret to be doing, and for it not to become boring for them, because then they're not going to want to do it, and if they don't want to do what you're trying to train them to do, it ain't going to get done. If your ferret isn't food motivated, you might be thinking, okay, that's all grand, but I can't click and give my ferret a treat because they're not going to make that association. Good news for you is you don't necessarily have to use a treat. All you have to do is know what your ferret really likes and what they want from you, and you can use that. For some ferrets, this is a specific toy, a type of praise, maybe being pet in a certain way. It's really up to you to just know your ferret, and you can still do that. Click, give them the thing they want, click, give them the thing they want. A couple really important notes on clicker training in general is that timing really is everything. Timing is the whole point that clicker training became a thing. So you really need to make sure that the second your ferret or your animal does the thing you're trying to tell them to do, that you click that right away. Another really important thing to keep in mind is to not use your clicker unless you're rewarding your ferret. I know it's very tempting. I have been holding this and I very badly want to click it just for the pure satisfaction of clicking it and hearing hearing the clicky noise. It drives me absolutely crazy. But I can't do it because then my ferrets are going to become confused and they're not going to recognize click as treat. They're going to recognize click as random noise that I hear every once in a while. The biggest thing with this is to make sure that you are not punishing your ferrets. Ferrets do not respond to punishing. They don't understand why they're being punished and they just get sad about it. Ferrets need positive reinforcement training, which is why clicker training works so well for them. Hopefully you guys have a little bit better of an understanding on what clicker training is and why we do it, but now it's time to talk about me. My ferrets have gotten super bad at using their litter boxes, and it's driving me a little bit more crazy every single day. It's gotten to the point that I don't need to clean their litter boxes every day because I spend so much of my day cleaning their poop up off the floor that by the time that litter box cleaning time comes around, there aren't even any poops in their litter boxes. I think that this is because of a lot of different reasons, the biggest one being that I did bring 2 new ferrets into my home recently and they weren't super well litter trained, so they started pooping on the floor, which then prompted Nova and Luna to be like, oh, there's poop on the floor. Why am I bothering to go in the litter box? And because of that, it just caused this giant chain reaction of my ferrets not doing what I wanted them to. Previously, I had just been using traditional positive reinforcement with Luna, just giving her a treat every time she went to the bathroom, but lately that just hasn't been working, and I really do believe it's because she doesn't associate the treat with the litter box. There is one blessing behind all of this, and it's the fact that Nova is actually really good with the litter box still. Anyone familiar with my channel knows that Nova is deaf, and because of that, clicker training isn't gonna work for her. Believe it or not, she can't hear it because she's deaf. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I could replace the clicker with some sort of hand gesture or other sort of reinforcement, but I just don't want to, you know? Like, she's in a pretty good place and I don't want to waste my time, I guess. Right now, I really just want to focus on the problem, which is Andromeda. So that's going to be my main area of focus. And then if I find success with this and I realize that Nova still isn't where I want her to be, I will then go and start training her differently. So what is the rest of this video? You might be looking at the timeline and you're like, wait, she's talked about everything. What's going on? There's still more time. Can't I just leave now? You can leave now if you want, I guess. It's up to you. I'm going to be spending the next week working on clicker training with my ferrets, and I kind of just wanted to record that progress so I can share it with you guys. If you also have ferrets that need help with litter box training and you decide after watching this video that you want to try the same thing, I will link below. Once again, Joey the Trained Ferret does have a video specifically on litter box training on her channel. My ferrets have about a 50% hit rate at this point, so they do understand that they're supposed to go in the litter box. I just really need to reinforce that idea in their brains. So if you have a ferret that completely has no idea what the litter box is and what they're supposed to do in it, definitely go check that video out. I have absolutely no idea if this is going to fix my problem, but you can come on this journey with me. And this is gonna start today, actually, with me just working on the click reward so I can establish that the clicker equals good job, man. So here's the first clicker training session that I did with Andromeda, Ilara, and Luna. I made sure that the other ferrets weren't around to distract them, and then I just took my time to click and reward. I tried to click when they were paying attention to me and didn't seem distracted by anything else, and then, like I said in the video, I just gave them a treat right away. I repeated this process every day for the next few days. Whenever one of the girls was awake and no one else was around, I would just do a little clicker training session. After about 2 days, I started to click when they were properly using the litter box. The instant that they finished, I would click the clicker and then give them a treat. Eventually you can stop giving them the treat once they really start to associate clicker means good job, but for now I'm still using both of these methods because they haven't really established that completely yet. You can also see that I stopped clicking only once and I started clicking a whole bunch of times. I just thought that one click was really easy to miss, and if I do it a whole bunch, they're really gonna know that they did a good job and there isn't gonna be any confusion about that. So I bet you're dying to know, did this work? And I'm happy to report that after a few days, I actually did start to notice changes. Obviously, it's only been a week, so they aren't perfect by any means, and I still do have to clean up accidents, but I have noticed a major lack of poops by our front door, which was the biggest problem area for us beforehand. They are such good girls, and I am very proud of them. I forgot to record an outro for this video in classic Kenya fashion, so I guess I'll just do a voiceover outro while you guys can watch some cute footage of Luna and Nova playing on the bed while I made it this morning. Thank you guys so much for checking out today's video. I hope that it was entertaining for some of you, maybe a little bit educational. I really do think I'm going to keep going with the clicker training. It seems to be working quite a lot for my girls, and who knows, maybe I'll train them some tricks along the way. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because by doing all of those things, you too can become a citizen of the friendly neighborhood, which is the best place to be. And I will see you guys for my next video. Have a great rest of your week. My neighbors just started construction upstairs. How nice of them.